devotion to the Lord's sacred passion, celebrated on Good Friday, in which we accompany in spirit our blessed Lord in his sorrowful journey and meditate on his sufferings and death. As we walk through the steps of our Lord's sorrowful passion, place yourself in the scene. Look around you. What do you see, smell, or hear? What is the weather like? Is the air cold and bitter and dry, or hot and humid? Who are you? What are you wearing and feeling? What position do you take? Are you a bystander? Are you Simon or Veronica? Are you John the Beloved? Are you a soldier or in the crowd crying out for Jesus' death? Crucify him. Are you a disciple or a friend begging the soldiers to forgive and release Jesus? In your mind, what does Christ look like? Is he tired, weak, and stumbling? What color are his eyes and hair? Is his face and body covered in blood? As we approach each station, the narrator will say, "We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, and we invite you, the congregation, to please respond with, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world." At the end of the last station, we invite you to join us in our final prayer, and then please exit the church in silence.
The first station, Jesus is condemned to death. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. A reading from Luke chapter 22. When day came, the council of elders of the people met, both chief priests and scribes, and they brought Jesus before Pilate.
I find no crime against him.
Crucify him!
Lord, every time I choose to abandon you and follow my own selfish desires, I deny you. Whenever I abandon the innocent, whether in lies or by my silence, I also condemn you to die. I hear my own voice cry out with the crowd, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" Please help me to follow you and to always speak the truth which you have placed upon my heart. O Jesus, have mercy on us all.
On a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame. And I love that old cross where the dearest and best for a world of lost sinners was slain.
The second station, Jesus carries his cross. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. A reading from John chapter 19. Then Pilate took Jesus and had him flogged. The soldiers twisted together a crown of thorns and put it on his head, They clothed him in a purple robe and went up to him again and again, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews!" And they slapped him in the face.
I am crushed, Lord, under the weight of my sin. I can neither move nor breathe, and yet you take this burden from me, placing the cross on your own shoulders without complaint. Do I complain, Lord, when you ask me to serve or to suffer? After all you have done for me, do I have to be coerced into doing your will if I do it at all? Lord, teach me to carry my own cross like you with loving humility. O Jesus, have mercy on us all.
Oh, that old rugged cross, so despised by the world, has a wondrous attraction for me. For the dear Lamb of God left his glory above to bear it to dark Calvary.
The third station, Jesus falls for the first time. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. A reading from Isaiah chapter 53. Surely our griefs he himself bore, and our sorrows he carried, yet we ourselves esteemed him stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted. But he was pierced for our transgressions and crushed for our iniquities. The chastening for our well-being fell upon him, and by his scourging we are healed. All of us like sheep have gone astray, each of us has turned to his own way. But the Lord has caused the iniquity of us all to fall on him. He was oppressed and afflicted, yet he did not open his mouth. Like a lamb that is led to slaughter, and like a sheep that is silent before its shearers, so he did not open his mouth.
I, in my impatience, shove you to the ground, increasing your suffering. I want things in my timing, not yours. How foolish am I to think that I know better than you what is good for me and when I should have it. Yet you do not say a word, accepting my harsh punishment. You will get up again and continue your journey out of love for me. Please help me to believe in the beauty of your plan for my life. You who have loved me from the dawn of time and loved me without regret. O Jesus, have mercy on us all.
In that old rugged cross, stained with blood so divine, a wondrous beauty I see. For 'twas on that old cross Jesus suffered and died to pardon and sanctify me. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown.
The fourth station, Jesus meets his mother. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. A reading from Luke chapter 2. Then Simeon blessed them and said to Mary, Jesus' mother, "This child is destined to cause the falling and rising of many in Israel, and to be a sign that will be spoken against, so that the thoughts of many hearts will be revealed, and a sword will pierce your own soul too."
Your mother suffers with you, Lord, as you carry my sins. She suffers as my loved ones do, because of my selfishness and my failure to love. As she longs to wrap you in her arms, she feels this pain as clearly as a blade run through her heart. I'm sorry, Lord, for putting your mother, our mother, through this. Help me to consider the impact of my actions and to walk humbly with you throughout my life. O Jesus, have mercy on us all.
At the cross her station keeping, stood the mournful mother weeping, close to Jesus to the last.
The fifth station, Simon helps Jesus carry his cross. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. A reading from Mark chapter 8. Then he called the crowd to him along with his disciples and said, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me and the gospel will save it. What good is it for someone to gain the whole world, yet forfeit their soul?"
Simon is a passing stranger, unwillingly pressed into service, and yet he has a face-to-face encounter with the living God. Simon endures the whips and spitting and helps another person walk their path to Calvary. Do I do the same? Am I willing to help someone carry their burden? Or do I complain, ignore them, or add to their suffering? When I should act, do I remain silent out of indifference or perhaps fearing that their load will be added to my own? Lord, help me understand that when I help even the least of my brothers, that I encounter the living God, and I too walk beside you as you journey to the cross. O Jesus, have mercy on us all.
Simon stopped in hesitation, not foreseeing his proud station, called to bear the cross of Christ.
The sixth station, Veronica wipes the face of Jesus. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. A reading from Isaiah chapter 53. He grew up before him like a tender shoot, and like a root out of dry ground. He had no beauty or majesty to attract us to him, nothing in his appearance that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected by mankind, a man of suffering and familiar with pain. Like one from whom people hide their faces, He was despised, and we held him in low esteem.
Your every step is excruciating, and the blood from your crown is running into your eyes, blinding you. Veronica cannot stop your execution. She can't take away the cross or the soldiers, but she gave you what little mercy she had to give. Do I? Or do I make others suffer just because I am suffering? Do I accept the kindness of others, or do I strike out in rudeness at others in my pride? Or like you, accept their mercy and kindness? Lord, give me the courage of Veronica to do what I can for those you place before me. O Jesus, have mercy on us all.
Brave but trembling came the woman, none but she would flaunt the Roman, moved by love beyond her fear.
The seventh station, Jesus falls for the second time. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. A reading from John chapter 15. If the world hates you, you know that it has hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love its own. But because you are not of the world, but I chose you out of the world, because of this, the world hates you.
You hit the hard dirt again, halting your progress. How many times have I fallen into the same sin over and over? I, too, feel that pain and humiliation of falling again into that weakness. Jesus, I am so sorry. But you, Lord, do not remain on the ground, beaten and broken. You will rise and move forward. Please, Lord, give me the courage to do the same, to not give up, but to trust in your mercy. O Jesus, have mercy on us all.
Prostrate on the dust he crumbled, flogged in body he resembled all our brothers poor and scorned.
The eighth station, Jesus meets the woman of Jerusalem. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. A reading from Luke chapter 23. Following him was a large crowd of the people, and of women who were mourning and lamenting him. But Jesus, turning to them, said, Daughters of Jerusalem, stop weeping for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children. For behold, the days are coming when they will say, Blessed are the barren, and the wombs that never bore, and the breasts that have never nursed. Then they will begin to say to the mountains, Fall on us, and to the hills, Cover us. For if they do these things when the tree is green, what will happen when it is dry?
even as you, Lord, walk the path to your death, you choose to reach out and comfort others. You also are the comfort for those that I hurt through my coldness, my selfishness, and my pride. Never let me forget that even in my darkest hour, I can lean on you. You will be my comfort, and I, in turn, can build up others. O Jesus, have mercy on us all.
Father, into your hands I commend my spirit. Father, into your hands I commend my spirit.
The ninth station, Jesus falls for the third time. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. A reading from Hebrews chapter 4. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to empathize with our weaknesses, but we have one who has been tempted in every way, just as we are, and yet he did not sin. Let us then approach God's throne of grace with confidence, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need.
Abandoned by your friends and followers, you collapse at the end of your road. Though your enemy presses in around you, you have never stopped walking this path. So often, I let my fears and doubts frighten me into avoiding my own path through life. I will shy away, telling myself it's too hard or too hopeless. Lord, please give me the faith and strength to continue my journey. O Jesus, have mercy on us all.
The 10th station, Jesus is stripped of his garments. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. A reading from Matthew chapter 27. And when they came to a place called Golgotha, in Hebrew meaning the place of the skull, they offered him wine to drink, mingled with gall, but when he tasted it, he would not drink it. And when they had crucified him, they divided his garments among them by casting lots. Then they sat down and kept watch over him there.
The guards strip you of your clothes, but they seek to take your dignity. Lord, I rely on so many things to give me dignity, when you have given me all that I need. Where do I find my self-worth? By the way I look? By what I have? By what I've achieved? How do I judge others' worth? By their looks or gains? Jesus, help me find my worth and identity in you, and help me to see others through your eyes. O Jesus, have mercy on us all.
The 11th station, Jesus is nailed to the cross. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. A reading from Luke chapter 23. And when they came to the place that is called the Skull, there they crucified him and the criminals, one on his right and one on his left. And Jesus said,
Father, give them, but not what they did.
How many times has my sin become a strike of the nail into your body? How often do I turn away from your mercy? Jesus, I am so sorry. Help me never forget your love for me. Please give me the courage and desire to accept your mercy, forgiveness, and love. Fill me with the comfort of knowing that I will never suffer anything you do not understand. O Jesus, have mercy on us all.
The 12th station, Jesus dies on the cross. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. A reading from Matthew chapter 27. From noon until 3 in the afternoon, darkness came over all the land. About 3 in the afternoon, Jesus cried out in a loud voice,
My God, why have you forsaken me?
And when Jesus cried out again in a loud voice, he said, Please kneel. Please be seated. The 13th station. Jesus is taken down from the cross and laid in Mary's arms. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. A reading from John chapter 19. When the soldiers came to Jesus and saw that he was already dead, they did not break his legs. But one soldier thrust his lance into his side, and immediately blood and water flowed out.
Mary holds you, Lord, as the unnatural darkness covers the land, the purest Lamb of God, slain for us all. In her hands seems to be the proof that all our hopes and dreams have shattered. And yet, even in her grief and in this darkness, Mary knows somehow that this is your greatest victory. Lord, give me the grace of Mary to be a true disciple. Help me listen to you and trust in you always. Oh, Jesus, have mercy on us all.
Ave Maria, gratia plena, Maria, gratia plena, Maria, gratia plena, Ave Dominus, Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus, fructus ventris, ventris tui, Jesus. Ave
The 14th station. Jesus is placed in the tomb. We adore you, O Christ, and we praise you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. A reading from John chapter 19. Later, Joseph of Arimathea asked Pilate for the body of Jesus. Now Joseph was a disciple of Jesus, but secretly, because he feared the Jewish leaders. With Pilate's permission, he came and took the body away. He was accompanied by Nicodemus, the man who earlier had visited Jesus. At the place where Jesus was crucified, there was a garden, and in the garden a new tomb, in which no one had ever been laid. Because it was the Jewish day of preparation, and since the tomb was nearby, they laid Jesus there.
How many times do I shove you in a compartment and lock you away? You who wish to be present to me at every moment and with me always, I shut out. Why? What am I afraid of? You who have walked every agonizing step of this journey out of love for me. You who have even now descended to the dead so that I might live in heaven with you. Do I not believe you? Lord, help me to always be aware of your presence in my life. And help me to be always hand in hand with you as I walk through this life. Oh, Jesus, have mercy on us all.
Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Were you there when they nailed him in the tomb? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they laid him in the tomb?
In the closing prayer. O most loving Jesus, thank you for suffering and dying for me. Thank you for redeeming me from my sins. You who have redeemed the world once and for all times through your great sacrifice. Forgive my failings, both in what I have done and thought and in what I have failed to do. I am a sinner in need of conversion. Show me where I need to change. Transform me into your image. Let me love you with your love and care properly for your people. Grant me a loving heart in the image of yours. Grant me a mind filled with love. Grant me a soul bursting with love, most especially your love. Thank you, O beloved Jesus. Amen.